What was I asking for? Well, I was asking to pay my bills and to have enough money, a few dollars left over to have some fun. But what I could have done and what I eventually changed to was I don't want just enough to pay the bills. I don't want enough just to have fun. I want to have so much that I can actually make an impact in not just my life, but in the lives of others. And as cliche as that may sound, that's literally what I wanted to do. So I just remember thinking back, it's like, wait a minute, you get what you think about. If I'm only thinking about receiving X, I'm only going to get X. If I start thinking about receiving Y, I can make Y happen. Even though at that moment in time, I didn't do that exact thing, it started ruminating in my head saying like, you need to seek more. And luckily that mural opportunity, which, came to me as I quit that position, it was there. It did exactly what I needed to do, which was cover me for a few months for me to really screw my head on and for me to dig down and focus on what it meant to actually be a full-time artist. And with that being said, I'm gonna tell you exactly what I did. Come on. Well, so what did I do? How'd I go from somebody who basically made $40,000 the year prior in 2023 with some artwork to what I did last year, which was basically 6x that and made roughly $250,000, plus supported an entire team of people, plus contracted out literally $50,000 worth of artwork to other people, other artists. Well, I did what I knew best, and I just took stock into where I was. So that's step one. Step one, I just focused on where was I. At the time, I was somebody with essentially the job's over, just finished the mural opportunity, now it's up to me to make money. I knew I had 0 clients. Okay. I also knew that I had roughly 4 months worth of bills saved up from this job. Okay. I knew that I've conquered so many things in the past that if I just put my head down, I can make it happen. I knew that I have a huge amount of community support, that while I haven't been pursuing art full time, those people believed in me, whether it's my family or community members, whether it's people I used to work with. I knew that if I actually dedicated myself to this thing, that maybe they directly won't hire me, but they can at least point me in the right direction. I also knew this super fundamental principle, and it was this different definition of success that I learned over the years. And it was essentially this: as long as we are moving actively forward towards an ideal goal of ours, then by definition, we are success. So what does that mean? That means that if I make a decision as to where I want to go, and I look at where I'm at, I know where I want to go, and I actively am making steps wholeheartedly towards that goal, that by definition, I'm a success. That means I didn't need to wait for the newspaper to tell me I'm a success. I needed to wait for the media to reach out to me. I didn't need to wait for other people to congratulate me and to tell me how amazing I am. And as much as that stuff is absolutely humble, it ultimately doesn't matter. I don't believe it so. So I knew that, okay, you know that you've manifested before, you've made some stuff happen, but the thing is, you have not been asking for enough. So what is enough? Well, reframe exactly what I was doing. I had to basically say like, well, as hard of a worker as I am, and I'm really working so hard, I can't work harder. So the problem is different than working hard. The problem is thinking differently, thinking more strategically. So let's just say, for example, I went to 10x the amount of jobs I had, the ability to paint 10 times more. I have a family that I need to take care of. I have other goals and ambitions. I have health I need to, honestly pay attention to. That meant I need to now start reaching out to other people and have them help. It also meant that I need to really focus on different clients. Not everybody was going to pay me the amount of money that it was that I was looking for. I knew that there were certain clients that valued the work that I did in a completely different manner. And that goes across the board for anybody doing any sort of service. It's just that, certain people are going to look at that and they say, wow, this thing is too much, too little. And someone else is going to look at it and say, this is just right. And it was up to me to basically bring in those people and to find those people that were willing to pay what I was asking for. Go out and actually start helping and asking for help. Don't just do everything for the idea of getting a dollar, but to literally go out and be of service to my community in a completely different manner. I started mentoring students. I started giving talks here and there, and to just do whatever I could to kind of uplift those around me. And I luckily found myself in a situation where, one thing led to the next. And after this job, it was up to me again to find some extra work. And to remind you, I quit my job in July, finished the job by August, September, and fast forward by December. And I reached out to a client who basically left the door open for almost a year. And I remember, oh my God, it clicked in my head. I need to reach out to people who in the past have reached out to me. We never landed on anything because, again, I wasn't pursuing this full time. So I didn't take it but so serious. I reached out to them, asked if they're still interested. They said yes. I get them to agree to pay me enough money to do some design stuff for them. I give a design presentation to them, and I leave that meeting with not one building landed, but literally 5. So I went from basically having no clients to then one where I had 5 locations in Iraq. And this was before the end of the year. So I knew right then and there that my 2024 was going to be absolutely different. Again, I asked for more of myself. I asked for more of the universe. I gave more of myself, and it provided. So I started off last year on a great foot. I had now an assistant that could help us paint, who, mind you, you know, our goal was to try to find somebody who knew what they were doing. Ultimately, in the environment that we're in, we're pretty much the biggest game in town. There aren't that many people that even know how to do what we do. So, we were advised that it would make more sense to try to teach somebody. So we put a little SOS out online, found a girl named Kayla. She painted small plein air, she did plein air paintings, which means she went outside in the nature and landscape and painted some amazing work. And I just on canvas, and I knew that if she can do that, there's no reason why she can't scale the designs that we produce and put them on the big screen. And ultimately, she literally did that, and she crushed it. She helped us install over a dozen artwork, as I mentioned before, and it's just been a completely change of dynamic in regards to how the business operated. So while I had somebody like her on the team, I was able to then reach out to other artists in the area, get them to a different level, but to bring them on board so they could help support her. And next thing you know, we have a team of people out there crushing these murals. So from that point forward, I'm able to then go out and find other opportunities. I'm able to go out, shake hands. I'm able to go out and mentor students. I'm able to go out and give speeches. And a lot of just crazy open doors took place. I was able to have the time to be able to develop this mural course, which I created, Let's Make Murals, where my objective was to take studio artists and turn them into street artists. A lot of private studio art and turn into public large scale art. And I made that happen. And my most recent success was creating a book, Positive Mental Artist. And with that book, I basically distilled as much as I knew at the time and just put it into paper form. It wasn't just a way to just teach myself and remember what it was, but it was a way to give back even further. Because at this point, I've given so much to my local community. I've now, one of my goals for this year is to take everything to the next level. And that's by offering, as much as I can to the online world. So in such a short time frame, I was able to go from a part-time artist who only had a few dollars to their name to somebody who basically was able to contract more work this year than I even made the year prior. And it's absolutely insane. If you're watching this, just so you know, I'm filming this video in 2024. I'm releasing it on the 1st of next year, so 2025, with the hopes of inspiring everybody to really kind of get their head together in regards to what actually it takes in order to kind of get to the next stage of the career. So again, what did I do? I took stock in where I was. I found gratitude for where I was. I found appreciation for where I was. And I came up with clear, decisive goals in regards to where I was trying to go. Now, here's one other thing that I learned that I wish I had known at an earlier state in my life, but you don't know until you know. And that's that our brains are not designed to actually know step by step by step. However, there's a really neat trick we can do. We could project ourselves into the future and kind of look backwards. So if there's a goal and objective or a thing you want to become, in my case, I wanted to be an agency owner. I wanted to be able to have more income. I wanted to be able to actually have the time to be able to create in different ways, not where I'm out on the street all the time. But I wanted to be able to, again, give back and do other things. I had to say, well, what does it take to do that? And that's where the 10X thinking came from. Well, I need a team. Well, I need to find specific clients. I need to be more of service. If I embody that person now, then I will slowly end up bringing about those things into my life. And sure enough, those things took place. So ultimately, as difficult as life can be at times, it's really simple to actually kind of get to the places we need to get. Now, all the life in between, that's the stuff that's tough. That's the stuff where we have to develop a positive mental attitude because we have to get through the day. And every single day is going to bring more opportunity, but also more challenges. Hardly anything ever goes my way, the exact way I'm thinking. Shooting this video, the mic died on me halfway through and I thought I had it done and I had to reshoot the whole thing. But that's just life itself, There's times where I swear I'm about to land a client and something slips through my hand. It turns into a no. I know that means next opportunity. And oh, so it's like, how we frame our situations in life completely, it's going to dictate kind of how we move forward. You got to give yourself a huge pat on the back because it takes courage to be where you are. I don't care what you've gone through. We're all humans. We all have our challenges. Some of us, whether it's this or that, it doesn't necessarily matter. We all have the same emotions. We all feel them a little differently, but at the end of the day, we're all going through our own stuff. So for you to be where you are now, I guarantee you've gone through some crazy challenges and you're a stronger person because you came out on the other side. So find appreciation for where you are and also decide what it is you want to do. And don't just pick small things to move up, because when you have small goals, you'll make small steps forward. Find objectives that are so scary for you that they make you uncomfortable to write. And here's what's amazing about our brains. I know you've heard the term neuroplasticity, but the more and more and more we repeat things to ourselves, the more we'll become to believe it, to the point where it is the truth. Our brains don't care what's true or false. They literally just listen to what we say. So if we just keep ramming in our heads, this is what we are, this is what we're doing, this is who we are, this is where we're going, it literally believes that. And I've proven that to myself multiple times over, and so can you. So you framed where you are, you know where you're going. And the next step, this is probably I wouldn't even call this a step, but this is just something to remember for the rest of your life. You're going to fail. You're going to fail over and over and over again. And that's completely okay. That's the point. If you do not fail, you don't know what works and what doesn't work. And the idea of failing forward, which I'm sure you've heard before, is 100% of attitude that you should, I recommend you take on, because it makes everything better. If you don't make these mistakes, how would you know what works? How would you know exactly what didn't work? And at the end of the day, we want to become better. And guess what? The more you practice something, you already know this, it's the better you become. And just do that. So ultimately, my goal with this channel, Positive Mental Artist, is to inspire not just artists, but creatives all over the world to develop the mindsets that they need to achieve. And again, it's going to deal with, nothing's going to be easy. And it's also not necessarily going to be hard. It is what we define it to be. And if you just know life is what it is, and you just take that you just take that for what it is as life progresses, but you have these things you're working towards, and that's all you can do. So without a strong, clear path as to where to go, you're not necessarily ever going to feel like you're a success. So define those things that you want, actively work towards them, and just relax. Because at the end of the day, we put the most pressure on ourselves. We might feel pressure from other areas, but I promise you, it's mostly us. And it's mostly the thoughts that we're producing in our heads, which are giving us and causing us all the pressure. So I promise you, if you've made it this far, not just into this video, but into life, you've got this. If I can get through the stuff that I've been through, you can too. I know you've heard people tell you that before, but because I've been through where I'm at, to the point where basically it feels, I basically had no money, a drug addict, definitely was working, had very little money, was working for other people, in and out of jobs, to the point where I'm at now, where I have a family that I successfully feed, I successfully house, I take care of other people in the area, I give when I can, I help employ other artists. I've become so much more. It's because I expected more of myself, and I also demanded those things, and I worked towards them. So if I can do this, I guarantee you can too. So I'm going to leave you with this, because it's your little challenge. Every single video, I'd like to be able to produce something for you guys, to be able to, so you could take with you and hopefully work towards becoming a better creative person. And I want you to think of 5 things, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 things that literally scare you to dream about. And take those 5 things, and on the next video, we're going to actively start working towards those. But for now, I want you to just take those 5, and I want you to, unless you're writing and you're feeling like this is impossible or this is too big, they're not big enough. Because I promise you, the big, big, big dreams will scare the crap out of you. And it's those dreams that if you have the ability to think about them, then you have the ability to see them through. And again, we may not hit all those things this year. We may not ever hit those things. It doesn't mean we don't aim for them. So guys, I can't wait for this next video. This is my very first one. I hope you enjoyed it. There's a lot more to come. Check out my book, Positive Mental Artist. It's on Amazon. Let's make murals if you're interested in becoming a muralist. Check it out in the description. Other than that, like, subscribe to this video if it offered any value to you. I can't wait to see the next one. Everybody take care. Brandon. Guys, I almost forgot something, and I don't know how. I mean, I talked about it in my case, but I didn't really bring it up as something that you need to really consider. But it's really thinking about why. Why are you actually trying to reach the goals and objectives that you are? I mentioned before, I'm upset, like, why am I working so hard? I just want to be able to take care of myself and have extra stuff left over, to take care of other people. And that was my why. Your why may be completely different, but ultimately we all want safety. We all want to feel much more than we're just in survival mode. But really ask yourself what it is that you're trying to accomplish. Hopefully it's much bigger than your ego and it deals with other people, because I promise you the rewards you get from, having those thoughts are completely different than if you're just trying to fulfill something for the self. However, there's nothing wrong with being selfish in regards to wanting to accomplish goals because you deem them to be necessary for you. So just really consider why. I'm going to piece this in somewhere in the video. Could be in the middle, could be in the end, could be at the, I don't want to call it a bonus because I messed up and forgot it in there, but I really want you guys to think about that. So for the second time, peace out, everybody. I will see you next time.